Good morning. It's Weezy FS1. Skip the BS and put everybody at the BS. PS, all I spit is FACTS. The best, Skip Bayless, yes, say less. Top of the top, apex, everyday flex. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't poppin', I ain't trying to hate. Let's have a Jordan and LeBron debate. I got time to date. Dripping on the chain, my diamonds say what they gotta say. If you think it's a game, I commentate, I ain't gotta play. On in the morning, I own my opponent. My competition is not an issue, it's cotton tissue. Unconventional, controversial, convoluted, unconditional, undeterred and undisputed. Good morning.
Good morning. It is time to skip the BS. It's time for Undisputed. It's time to talk. Knicks bounce back. Bron and Bronny, and Coach K and JJ Redick, and the Lakers coaching search. All that with Rachel Nichols and Keyshawn Johnson. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
And by the way, Rachel, Paul Pierce is very thankful that you're here and he's not. So thank you for doing that for him.
Bailing Paul out again.
Yes, he did say yesterday the Knicks were cooked. Cooked, said Paul Pierce. And for the record, Paul isn't ducking me and Key today. No, Paul was scheduled to have this day off to begin with, so...
I don't know.
You don't know? Maybe not. That's what they're telling me anyway, and that's our party line for today. But it was the Knicks who did the cooking last night. They did bounce back from Sunday's 32-point loss at Indiana to win by 30 at home. So they trailed by as many as 43 on Sunday. They led by as many as 31 last night. Go figure. Jalen Brunson did not look at all tired last night. He did take 35 shots. He made 18. He scored 44 points, spectacularly outplaying his counterpart Tyrese Halliburton, who went quiet again with only 13 points on 9 shots. So I guess the Knicks do have somebody who can guard him. And congrats to Isaiah Hartenstein, whose 12 offensive rebounds tied the Knicks' all-time playoff record set in 1994 by the great Charles Oakley. Now, that's an achievement. So now the Knicks return to Indiana up 3-2. Pacers favored by 5 on Friday night. I'm sticking with my original prediction, Knicks in 7. Rachel, now how does this series play out?
The Pacers have shown me absolutely nothing that tells me that they could win a Game 7 at Madison Square Garden. They just haven't. To me, Game 5 was the game that they absolutely had to win because you had a Knicks team that was just reeling off of injuries, being tired legs, just gotten blown out. This was theirs for the taking. The Pacers just had to go for the jugular. And instead, they played like they would rather be anywhere else. Look at some of these effort numbers. Shot attempts. Knicks, 101 to the Pacers, 72.
Ridiculous.
That's bananas. No one has had that big a shot differential in the NBA playoffs in nearly 20 years.
Ooh, that's a good
Points
stat.
in the paint, 62 to 36. Hustle stats like rebounds, 53 to 29 offensive rebounds, 20 to 5. That is effort. That is energy. Rick Carlisle called the performance embarrassing, and he was absolutely right. And look, it was a great move of Tibbs to start McBride, gave him fresh legs, some energy. He had him setting screens, which we don't normally see from guards his size. And I think he set 3 times as many screens as he has in his career high ever. However, that gave Jalen Brunson room, and Jalen Brunson was great. That is not the reason they won. The reason they won was that even though the Knicks were the smaller size lineup, they played like giants, and the Pacers shrank from the moment.
Yeah, I would say, Skip, you said 7, I said 7 back in New York. When you look at this series in particular, the home team has always had the energy. And so going back into New York, coming out of Indy, I felt that would be the case to begin with. Now, I didn't think that Indy would play nearly as bad as they did. But hats off to the Knicks for getting the job done, and Jalen Brunson, along with Tibbs, switching up the lineup and putting McBride in there to say, hey, we're going to go small. But like Rachel said, they played big. She ran off crazy statistics. Just think about the offensive rebound numbers. Okay, you talk about second shot chances. You talk about in the paint. A lot of that is a part of it. When you get the rebound and you can just dish to your guy right there, he can go up and you can go back up and put it back in the bucket. All of those sort of things helped them win this game. Plus, defensively, they played hustle defense.
Yeah.
They were scrappy. They was all over the place. They did what we saw the Knicks do in the first 2 games that they played in the Garden. They don't play well on the road. I anticipate going back to Indianapolis, they lose that game. That's just the way it's played out.
I don't know,
And
man.
then in Game 7 coming back, they do what they've done the 3 games that they played at home.
Yeah.
They win going away, and then they see probably Boston.
Rachel, are you smelling Knicks in Game 6 then?
Look,
Yeah.
the Knicks have an extra day off. Caitlin
Yeah.
Clark is making her home debut. That means they had to move the schedule to Friday. I think that the Knicks are a team that knows that they have the advantage in this series and that finishing them off in 6 would mean a lot for them because
Sure
it is
would.
a quick turnaround to Game 7 on Sunday if it happens that way. And then you get back into the tired legs, the whole thing.
But see, I think if it goes south fast in 6,
He'll pull them
everybody
like
out.
he
You
did last
chill.
time.
Yeah, you just chill and just bring it on home.
Well, that turned out to
When
be...
has he ever pulled people in?
Yeah, but you got to
He
be.
did in Game 4, right? And
Or
then-
Not really.
Or when
I
did
mean,
he ever? But look about it though. You just said when has he ever pulled anybody? He
played Jalen Brunson all the way through the 3rd quarter.
I understand, but when has he ever switched up his lineup? So he's doing some things that you hadn't really seen here lately.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I told you, I thought the Knicks had them so on the ropes in game, 3 on last Friday night because we went back and forth the other day. The Knicks were up 9 on them with 9 minutes to go, and I thought they had them. And that was the night I thought Jalen lost his legs a little bit down the stretch because I showed you 4 shots he had at the rim that he usually converts a couple of at least, and he missed all 4 of them. Then he did hit a couple late jumpers that helped get him back into it. And then Nembhard hit the shot of shots, as Paul said yesterday, and there was some credibility and some reason to believe that the Nembhard shot had shot them right in the heart because they came out on, Sunday then, and just, they were as flat as you can be. They just looked lifeless and heartless and gutless and all those things that now we think that Indiana looked like last night. And yet, there are 2 teams left right now in these playoffs who have some March Madness in them. The Oklahoma City Thunder have some March Madness. They got some college try in them. They got some college rah-rah going. And so does this team at home. It especially does. Bizarrely, just feeding off that crowd, especially Jalen. Jalen in that building is like magical to me. He thinks he's unstoppable because he is unstoppable. And I'm going to say it again. I'm not sure I've ever seen a better little man scorer than he is. I mean, we can talk about Allen Iverson, but listen, Jalen's step back is just lethal. Allen didn't have the shooting capability. Allen could just jump out of the gym and played with the biggest heart I've ever seen for a man that small. But I don't know. Jalen Brunson is just spectacular how he gets to his spots. And then I think they're going to block his shot, and they don't even sniff blocking his shot. And is he 6 feet tall? I don't know. They list him at like 6'2". He doesn't look like he's more than 6 feet, but he plays stout and strong.
They usually give true measurements though in the NBA, unlike college. I know he doesn't look 6'2".
You get true
because they don't
measurements
have
at the
long
combine,
arms.
and then you get a true measurement at the combine, and then sometimes over the years they can just creep.
And he doesn't have the difference with AI is AI had extremely long arms. He doesn't have long arms.
That's a fact.
Look,
Yeah, in fact, he looks like he's kind of got short arms because he's built so stout, right?
You know, AI is my favorite player. I cannot compare Jalen Brunson to AI.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
I
Well, it's
cannot.
not
I didn't know that.
comparing.
He's your
No,
favorite?
All right, Georgetown, come on.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
true. I didn't think of that.
Come on.
Okay, you got me.
Absolutely.
You got me.
Favorite
Yeah.
player of all time, no doubt. I think Jalen Brunson has some room to go before that. But yes, I mean, he's from that mold of hustle and heart,
But as
oversized.
a
100%.
shooter scorer, I just don't know for inch, I just don't know if I've ever seen anything like it at this level. I know Allen got that team to the finals with Larry Brown.
Don't you feel, though, with Jalen Brunson and the Knicks, and this is a compliment, by the way, that this is a question of fit? I think with the NBA, you've got the 10% of the top players who would fit and be exceptional anywhere. You've got the 10% of the bottom players who are going to be crappy anywhere. And then the 80% in the middle, it is a matter of fit. Are they in the right place at the right time on the right team? And Jalen Brunson, to me, is at the top of that 80%. He is on a team where everyone believes in him. They have built a team around him of players who complement him exactly. And you have a coach who knows how to use him. And I think all of that has worked to his advantage. And then he has stepped up and taken the moment in a way that, frankly, no one could have anticipated. But he's so comfortable in that building, to your point, that you can see it. And that's a fit thing also. Here, you know, I mentioned the McBride screens. And here's something so smart that Thibodeau did. We don't normally see guard-on-guard screens. I mean, we just don't see it.
No.
But the idea of going smaller, giving Jalen Brunson more room to operate, because McBride was setting those screens, you all had those switches. You don't suddenly have so much of a bigger player on Jalen the way that he was getting stymied in Game 4. And I just think, again, really smart coaching won out in this game. Now, Rick Carlisle had some very smart moves in Games 3 and 4. It is going to be on a championship coach and Rick Carlisle to make another move for Game 6, because right now, the way it's set up, it's not working for them.
Yeah, he may have run out of moves, though. What other moves is there that's left? I mean,
you got to free up Tyrese. You got to. Tyrese Halliburton has to be put in position to score more, and himself has got to be more aggressive.
He needs to be more aggressive because he's had in 4 of the 5 games that they played, he's had the second game. What did he score? 31, and then in the
34.
34,
in the
and then what was the fourth game?
Well, then he just started going